Hey guys, so in this week's video I'm going to be showing you exactly what happens when you do beat matching on your DJ decks. I believe there's two types of people when it comes to learning. Some people can just learn by hearing things and writing stuff down, and some people are much better at learning when it comes to being able to see stuff visually. So in this week's video I'm going to show you visually exactly what is happening when you do a beat match. This will help you so much when it comes to beat matching because it means you won't just be using your ears when you're twisting knobs. You'll kind of visually be able to see what's happening in your mind's eye. So without further ado, let's get into it and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So guys, as you can see on the screen, you've got my DJ decks, the DDJ SX2. And I want you guys to focus in this video on specifically these knobs here, okay, which are typically the knobs that are used to do a basic beat match. So what I want to do is run through each of these sections and explain exactly what they are in terms of music production. So I'm going to start with the obvious bit. Down here is the volume or gain. This just turns the volume up or down. You guys know that, it's obvious. The next knobs here, the highs, mids and lows, are what's known in music production as an EQ. An EQ, basically all it is a way of turning up or down the volume of a specific range of frequencies, which I'm going to explain a little bit more in a moment. And then you've got a filter here, which is basically just a cutoff, which will cut away all the high frequencies or all the low frequencies. But now I want to show you guys exactly what is going on when I say these different terms. So I'm going to jump over to Ableton here. I've got a track in Ableton that just sounds a little bit like this. And what I'm going to do is show you what exactly each of these different elements does, okay? So I've made my own little effects rack down here, which will correlate perfectly to the knobs on DJ decks. What I've got is a low, mid and high EQ, which correlates perfectly to these three knobs here. And what I've also got is a low pass filter, a high pass filter, which correlates to this knob here. If you turn it to the left, it's a low pass filter. If you turn it to the right, it's a high pass filter. So there's a low pass filter and a high pass filter here. And then finally, I've got volume or gain here. So these knobs here all correlate perfectly to these knobs here. And I'm going to show you exactly what happens now to the frequencies when you use these different knobs. The first thing I'm going to do is open up this EQ here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the song and you're going to see a lot of movement in this area here. Now, as a DJ, this is a view you will never really see of the music. And what you're seeing is a frequency range. Right down around here are the lower frequencies, and right up around here are the higher frequencies, and then of course in the middle are the mid frequencies. This is going to give you a really good visual representation of exactly what happens when you do stuff on your DJ decks. I'm going to start with the high pass filter first, and I'm going to simply turn it down, and you're going to see exactly what happens when you turn down the high pass filter. It literally sweeps away all of the frequencies from the high moving down to the low. And when I say sweeps away, it just turns down the volume as it goes along. So let's check it out. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And now what I'm going to do is the low pass filter, and I'm going to move it up, and you're going to hear all the lows go and it'll just leave the highs, and you can visually see this happening. Now, the rest of it is going to be pretty self-explanatory as well. If I take away the lows, you're going to see it literally dip away the lows. So let's have a look at this now. That's taken away the lows. Let's put them back. Now we're going to take away the highs. Sounds familiar. And then this is the mids being taken away. And of course, if I was to take away the highs, the mids and lows all together, it sounds a bit like this. So there we go, guys. There's a good visual representation of exactly what is going on with the frequencies when you're twisting those knobs on your DJ decks. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do a beat match on Ableton rather than doing it on my DJ decks. And I'm going to show you exactly what is typically happening, but I'm just going to do it through a music program, which is actually a lot more complicated than just doing it on DJ decks. But I wanted to do it because I thought it was quite a cool way to round off this video. So let's do this. As you can see, I've got a track in lane 1 here, which would just be like track A on your DJ decks. And towards the end of the track, I've got another track playing on another lane here, so that would typically be track B. These two songs are the same BPM, so I'm not going to confuse anything. They're running at exactly the same time. So if I was to zoom right in, you'll see the beats happening at the exact same time here. The other thing I've done is I've taken the end of track A and I've looped it. So look, if I solo this track and play this section here, you'll see it loops over and over, which anybody who's watched any of my other DJ videos will know is a typical thing I will do at the end of a track when I want to beat match, because it just gives me a little bit more time. So have a listen. Loop. And then what I've got here on track B is another track, and I've looped the intro of that track just to give me a little bit more time. So let's have a listen. So what I've done is I've taken track A and I've looped it slightly over the top of track B. Now that's of course is exactly what you would do with DJ decks. You'd press play on track B while track A was still running, and you'd blend track B in and take away track A, which is what we're going to do. So the next thing for you guys to know is that these knobs here on your DJ decks will typically affect track A, and these knobs here will typically affect track B. In other words, what I'm saying is that the track that's running here will run through these effects here, and the track that's running on track B will run through these effects. So any changes you make here will affect the track that's running through it. Now, how that works on a music production software like Ableton is you will have a track, and down at the bottom you can load different effects onto it. And any changes you make here will affect that track. And if I go to this other track here, which we'll call track B for the time being, I've got the same effects. So I've essentially got my DJ effects rack here loaded onto track A, and I've got my DJ effects rack here loaded onto track B. So in the same way, if I change any of these parameters here, it would affect track A. If I go to Ableton and I affect any of these parameters here, it will affect track A here. So that's basically what's going on. So let's get back into the actual beat matching process. And as you guys can see on my screen here, I've named this track A and this track B. Okay, so what we're going to do is as track A comes to an end, we're going to blend in track B, and we're going to merge the frequencies and move the frequencies out of each other's way until track B is the prominent track that's playing and track A is completely gone. So any of you who have watched any of my other DJ tutorials will know that I will never bring in track B at full volume. I'll always bring it in quietly. So the first thing I'm going to do is on track B, I'm going to turn down the volume all the way. So when it comes in at the start, you won't be able to hear it at all. Then what I typically do is I bring up the volume of track B with just the low frequencies running. So if I go back to my DJ decks, what I would typically do is bring up the volume of this track here, but with the mids and the highs turned down and just the low frequencies running. As I bring that up and I begin to hear those low frequencies, I will take away the low frequencies of track A. So what you'll be left with is the thud or the kick drum of track B playing underneath track A. So I'll bring just the lows of track B in and take away the lows of track A. So you've got the lows of track B and the mids and the highs of track A. So if we were to correlate what we just explained then back onto Ableton, what we've got is track B with the volume turned all the way down, and we're going to turn down the highs and we're going to turn down the mids. So what we've got left is just the lows of track B, and we're going to bring up the volume till we can hear the lows. But there's something amazing you can do on music production software called automation, where you can basically tell the program to automatically move these knobs for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play with this, and you can see that red line moving up and down. I'm going to automate that to turn up over time. So I'm going to create a new lane here, and I'm going to have this just turn up over the space of a bar like this. So what will happen if I solo it is over the space of a bar, this volume will come back to full. So let's have a listen. So the volume has been automated to come in, and for the rest of this tutorial I'm going to be doing a lot of automation, but I just wanted to explain that basic theory to you guys, okay? So what's going to happen now is that's going to come in and the lows are just going to remain. But we don't want the lows of track A to get in the way, so we're going to actually automate those lows to move out of the way. So I'm going to go to track A, click on the lows here to select that automation lane and open it up, and I'm just going to get these lows about here to dip out of the way completely. So we're going to wait until most of the lows have come in, and then we're going to get these lows to just dip out of the way. So let's have a listen to just this happening. So what we've got now is just the lows of track B playing underneath track A. Now what we want to do is just automate the frequencies to just move out of each other's way. So at this point I'm going to take the mids and start to remove them away from track A. So we've got the mids here, let's give it its own automation lane, and I'm going to take the mids at this point and just have them move away a bit more gradually over time. And over that same time period, I'm going to get the mids of track A and bring them in. So I come to track B and I click on the mids. I'm going to give it its own automation lane, and I'm just going to say on the mids here, at this point here, I'm just going to bring the mids back in over that same period of time. So we're going to bring the mids in. The other thing I'm going to do is go to track A and I'm going to get the highs. I'm going to move the highs out of the way. So about here, I'm going to get the highs. I'm going to gradually just move them out of the way. And I'm going to come to track B. I'm going to get the highs. I'm going to give it its new lane here. And I'm going to bring those in over the same kind of time period like this. So what you've got here is a couple of different automations going on. On track B, we're bringing in the lows, then we're automating the mids and the highs to turn up over the time. While this is happening, we've got track A moving the mids and highs out of the way, which is essentially what you're doing when you're beat matching. You're just moving frequencies, bringing in the frequencies from B, taking it away from A. And finally, what we're going to do is automate the volume on track A to just dip away at the last minute. So we're going to get the volume knob here, we're going to give it a new lane, and we're just going to say at this point gradually just move this out the way. So we're going to automate it to just come completely out of the way here, and what we will be left with is just track B playing by itself. So this should sound now like one track is gradually being brought in while another track is being gradually taken away. Let's have a listen and see what it sounds like. And bear with me here, guys, because I've done this automation without actually listening to it. Now, if I was DJing, and this process would be a lot easier to DJ, I would listen to it first and I'd be doing it as I made the changes. And I would never really mix two tracks using this method because it's a lot harder. But I just wanted to show you visually what is happening and how you would potentially do a beat match on Ableton if you wanted to. So let's have a listen. You can check out the different knobs doing stuff down here as well. that actually sounded awesome. I thought actually, I was really impressed with that because I obviously hadn't listened to it beforehand. I just did what like I visually would do when I'm doing a beat match. I kind of took away the mids, added a bit of mids in, then took away the highs, added some of the highs in. Actually, I was really impressed with that. If I was in a club and I heard that mix, I wouldn't think anything of it. So there we go, guys. It's really cool. And it's like visually you can kind of see what's going on, and with this automation you can kind of just get a good idea of exactly what is going on when you do a beat match. Okay guys, I'm actually going to play that through one last time. What I want you guys to do is have a look at the EQ on track B and track A, and I'll flick between the two as this beat match happens. So on track B you'll see the frequencies being added, and on track A you'll see the frequencies being taken away. Okay, so let's have a listen and I'll flick between the two tracks. That's pretty awesome, isn't it, guys? So there we go, guys. I hope that video helped you visualize exactly what goes on when you do a beat match. And I'm sure if you're anything like me, it'll really help you out when it comes to doing your next mix. Finally, guys, I just wanted to say, if you don't know anything about DJing and you want to learn more, go to beginnerdjlessons.com, where I can teach you everything you need to know about DJing, from not knowing what any of the buttons or knobs on this DJ deck do, all the way up to doing your first DJ gig. I'll teach you everything you need to know. I also wanted to mention, if you guys are more interested in the music production side of things and you want to actually start writing your own tracks or just doing more technical mashups on a computer program, I can teach you everything you need to know about that as well at beginnerabletonlessons.com. So if you guys are more interested in playing on big stages like Ultra Music Festival, and you want to be playing there with the big artists like Skrillex or Calvin Harris or David Guetta, you need to start producing your own music, and I can teach you how to do that. So go and check out the links below this video, Beginner DJ Lessons and Beginner Ableton Lessons. Finally, I just wanted to say, if you like this video, make sure you leave a comment, make sure you leave a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos just like this. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week. Ciao!